Warning. The following video contains strong language that some viewers may find offensive or disturbing.
What's the most ridiculous reason for which you've been dumped? I love you so much and want to spend the rest of my life with you. We have to break up. If it's really meant to be, then we will end up together again like they do in the movies. Single quote. We have to break up. I mean, we can't even get married. You're allergic to fish. She chose the occasional tuna sandwich over me. I laughed and still tell the story, so I guess it's a win. My ex's cat was named Ben. The girl I was dating's cat was named Bundles. One day, I called Bundles Ben. She asked me what I just called her cat. I thought about it, and then remembered that was my ex's cat's name. I laughed and told her, and she was super unimpressed. Broke up with me the next day. And this is why I'm still surprised my husband didn't break it off when I called him my ex's name within the first 4 months of our relationship. I only once called my husband by my ex's name, and it was when I was extremely frustrated with him. To be honest, I think he wasn't upset because I was associating the way I felt angry with my ex more than with him. I have done the exact same thing. I was mad at the ex more than I ever was at the current so. And the ex's name just slipped out during some dumb fight. As soon as it did, I regretted it, and left the room, feeling horrible. He, on the other hand, was not as understanding, but still recognized how bad I felt, and it was a complete accident. I've apologized for it at least twice since then. But still, in the moment I was so caught up in how I was feeling, rather than the person I was feeling it towards. If that makes sense. I got dumped because the headlights on my car didn't come on automatically when I started my car. I'm assuming he had other reasons. But this is what I was told. And I love laughing at it. Shared this before here, but this has and will always take the cake for me. College GF's dad won $1 million in the state lottery over winter break. Broke up with me over the phone. Telling me, now that I'm rich, I can't afford to date regular people like you. That's really the only thing wrong. You're just regular. Quote. I bought my GF one of the World of Warcraft expansion packs for her birthday. She started playing again, like she really got into it, and I hardly saw her. She'd play all night and would come to bed as I was getting up. To be clear, that made me want to dump her. But what ended up happening was she started playing with her ex, and it apparently rekindled their feelings for each other. Because she dumped me after a couple of weeks of this shit and got back with him. But by that time he had moved away, so their relationship was entirely limited to playing questing or some shit. And then they broke up again after like a month of this. At the time it was horrible, but now I can't help but laugh. TLDRX dumped me for a mage. The guy the first was dating broke up with me cause he had family problems. I was all like, I'm so sorry, I'm here if you need me. 2 days later I find out he lied and asked out one of my best friends, and she said yes. About a week later I asked him why he dumped me, and he left me on read. I don't feel a spark of anything when we kiss anymore. At that time I got hit in the mouth with a bat and couldn't kiss her for the past month. If you didn't want to be with me, just say it, or at least come up with a better lie to dump me over. For a moment I thought a bat flew straight at your face. Perhaps this one had a broken sonar or some shit. Then I realized what bat you were talking about. Made a girl smile too much. She had braces and it cut up the inside of her mouth. All she has to do is put wax on her braces. It's not even difficult to get. Wax is standard when it comes to braces. One of my exes dumped me saying that he wanted to be like Paul from the Bible. He was of course referring to Paul being single and abstinent. But the kicker is that about a month later he had a new girlfriend. Yeah, my sister went to a Bible college, and it was hilarious how I just feel like God's not calling me to be in a relationship right now usually means there's someone else I'm interested in instead. The girl told me she thought this boy who she had a crush on for a long time was gonna ask her out. She said this to me. Her then BF. My boyfriend broke up with me because he was moving away to go to puppet school. I was dating a guy whose parents didn't like me. It was a long-distance relationship. And so we mostly chatted online but also made occasional phone calls. So we were talking on the phone. And at one point I said, "You shouldn't have to choose between me and your parents." The conversation continued. We decided to break up. We stayed friends. Something like 10 years later. We were talking online when the subject of our breakup came up. Turns out he thought I had said, "You should have to choose between me and your parents." And decided that he wasn't going to do that. I would never give someone that kind of ultimatum. That would be ridiculous. It blew my mind that a single misheard word caused us to break up. And we didn't realize it for 10 years. I was dating a girl in college. After a month or so I told her that I loved hanging out. We were out somewhere and she looked at me funny but smiled and we carried on with the date. Not long after she suddenly has issues meeting up and I eventually hear through a friend of hers she doesn't think it'll work out. I decide not to pursue the issue even though I thought things were going great. Roll on 6 odd years later. Bump into each other. Long conversation later it turns out she thought I had said I loved her and she thought it was all too soon and panicked etc. So could have all be averted if we had a conversation about it but never mind. I was too clingy, she got mad every time I hung out with anyone that wasn't her. She thought I killed her horse, it wasn't actually her horse, with voodoo, it hung itself, because I was jealous, it was a horse. Closing parenthesis. Not me but one of my friends who's a senior in high school got dumped by her boyfriend who she dated for almost 2 years. He dumped her because he didn't want to go to the school dance. A few days later he texted her to tell her that he wanted to get back together but she declined. He could have just told her that he didn't want to go and still be her with her or just go to the stupid dance. That's on one episode of Malcolm in the Middle. The girlfriend finds out that Reese is trying to pick a fight with her. To avoid the dance, she makes him go anyway. And dumps him right after. Actually had a guy dump me because I'm a carpenter. And according to him, it's just not ladylike. A 14-year-old, wouldn't take her, a 14-year-old, virginity in a Burger King bathroom. Welcome to Ireland. Good job man. First time needs to be special like a McDonald's or a Subway bathroom. Not dumped, but shut down. I asked her out and she sort of freaked. Like. On a date? A date? Oh shit. I want to say yes. But I can't. Every time I've dated a guy the first liked we ended up hating each other. But I want to. But I can't. So. I know, you're my gay friend. I can't date you. Because you're gay. Awesome. I have a gay friend now. Oh shit. I'm late for class. Bye. I was like, what? What the fuck just happened? The other people of our social group were similarly confused. When I was 12 we played Spin the Bottle and I made a kissy moi sound before we kissed. An hour later she sent her best friend to my soccer game to break up with me. He dumped me because I cheated on him. In his dream. I think he didn't have a reason to break up with you and invented that one. I said love you. She got mad I forgot the I. I'm not ready for a relationship. I thought it was a bad time to bring that up since we were engaged and had been together for almost 2 years. Edit, almost 9k fake internet points may be the best thing I've ever gotten out of a breakup. Guess it all works out in the end. 16 years after the fact. Some good has come out of this. God told me not to date you. I'm sorry, and guess what, this happened twice. With 2 different girls. Can I do the most ridiculous reason I've had to dump someone? Starting dating this girl. She's like 29 with a master's degree. Really sweet and cute. So I'm excited about the potential. On our 3rd date we were driving to a late-night event at a science museum and she asked what I was most excited about seeing and I said I've always enjoyed the dinosaur fossils and she said, "Oh, And got real quiet. After 5 seconds of silence, I asked if she didn't like dinosaurs or something, and she said, "It's not that. It's more than." Well, I'm not sure how I feel about dinosaurs. Which led me to ask, by feel. You mean, you. And she said, "Well, I'm just not sure if they are real." Beat, I look over quizzically. She continues, "Like, they're not mentioned in the Bible. So I don't know if they existed." I tried to get through the night, and to be fair, there were some decent jokes. When we walked into the natural sciences wing, there was a picture of Darwin on the wall, and she said, "Hey, look. There's your best friend." And later we were standing in front of a skeleton of a raccoon, and I said, "So just to be clear, your position on raccoons is yes. No. Maybe." She was a pretty nice girl, and we had fun on the first 2 dates. So I tried to tough it out. But the dinosaur thing just ate at me for days. Like a week later, I called her from the office, and this was our conversation. "Me, look. We gotta talk. I don't think this is going to work for me." 10 seconds of silence. Her. "It's the dinosaur thing, isn't it?" Me, "Yeah. Yeah. It's the dinosaur thing." Single quote. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification button. See you next time.